Welcome to this look at the first new mod map on Farming Simulator 25 with me, MrSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, it is here, the first mod map on console for Farming Simulator 25. This is an update, and the update, part of the update was console release. It's been out on PC a little while, but the update, I will read, there's not a lot on the update. Added animal dealer, added warehouse, added 2 new variants of the map, both with 69 farmlands, 5 fields, 64 farmlands. One of the new maps is more focused on forestry, reduced overall cost of farmlands, and randomised the price for each farmland, which is an interesting one. I'm going to say that now. When starting a new game as new farmer, you will have a home to go to sleep in by default. On the other modes, you just have to buy the land. The house is still, or the sort of the sleep and wardrobe trigger is still there. You just need to buy the land. And it says fixed an issue with Deadwood missions being too close to the map edge. I'm on this screen because we're kind of new on 25 with regard to maps and map reviews. And because there are so many different options now that you can change off the start, all of my map tours moving forward will be on the base version. So what I might do is add in some on the start loan just to help me buy things as I go through. But it will be new farmer, farm manager, and start from scratch as it comes out of the box. So when I'm referring to those figures, whatever it might be, slot counts and stuff, it'll be from those base versions. I won't be fiddling around too much with it. Like I say, what I might do on the new farmer, I will definitely take off the guided intro. I will probably add in a start loan if it's required. Now, this map is a 3-fer, not a 2-fer. You get 3 maps for the price of 1. So New Frontier, I'm going to do the map tour on New Frontier 69 farmlands. And there's also New Frontier Forestry. But don't worry, when we jump on, I'm going to go to each one to show you the differences in them. Just to show you there are 3 that you can choose from quite clearly. The forestry version is if you're more into your forestry. The other 2 are going to come down to personal preference. I'll explain why I've gone for this one. It's because the field prices are cheaper. On this one, I think there are 21 plots on the field, on the map. That one there are 69. So they're smaller plots, cheaper to purchase. That's the only reason, really. So like I say, I'm going to go into this one, but I will jump onto the other ones to show you some information as we go. So here we are. This is New Frontier, the first of the 3. I'm going to do the rest of the map tour on New Frontier 69 farmlands, but I wanted to show you, like I say, the differences between them. The slot counts, interestingly, on New Frontier and New Frontier 69 farmlands are the same. So I'll talk about the slot count now, seeing as we're here. This is how I start equipping the machinery on the first 2 maps. So the slot count is 630 on New Farmer. It's 595 on Farm Manager and Start from scratch. The difference being you don't start with any of the equipment and machinery, and you don't start with any of the farmland that you own, and you don't start with the sleep trigger, which is just over there. So that's the difference between New Farmer, Farm Manager and Start from scratch, those slot counts. The forestry version, the slot count's higher because there's a lot more trees on there, as you can imagine. So what I'm going to do is just show you the map and why the difference between them. So this one's got big sections. I'm sure it said 21 of them. Yeah, 21. And the interesting thing, like I say, if we click on them, that one's 412,000. That one's 216,000. That one's 393. That one's 471. Now, some of these have got hills on. That's got a mountainous sort of area. This bit down here, we've got a river and a little waterfall and stuff. So where it says the prices are randomised, I kind of get the feeling the ones that you've got more scope for farming on, farmland, but they do seem fairly random, which is interesting because for all intents and purposes each plot is the same size. I'm trying to think of another map where I've encountered that, where it's been randomised like that. But anyway, so that's New Frontier, the first one. 21 plots, the map looks like this. Now on all 3 maps, let's come off that, on all 3 maps, all 3 versions, this bit stays exactly the same. So where all of these are, where the fields are, where the various different buildings are and factories, that is exactly the same on all 3. It's just the actual plot of the map that changes, and then obviously the forestry version, which we'll get to in just a moment. So here we are on the forestry version. So I've jumped either side of the one I'm going to be doing the review on, and you can see already there's more trees. all around there are more trees, and the start equipment is different, but the slot count is higher. So on this one, new farmer, it's 735 because of all the trees and stuff on the map. Farm manager and start from scratch, that comes down to 724 because you don't have this, and that's another big difference between the other two maps and this one. Because this is forestry, you literally start with the fen, and I have to say, I love the detailing on these now when you've got all the mud and stuff. 41% damage on this, and you've got the Taj Fun on the back with winch cable on it. You'd have to buy yourself a chainsaw or something like that. And what we'll do very quickly, let's jump in the air, and you'll see, and this will become more stark in a moment when we go on to the middle map, 69 farmlands. The amount of trees on this one, way higher. And then what we'll also do is we'll go back to the map just there, and you'll see, compared to the first map that had 21 plots available, it has still got the big squares, but within those big squares you have now got, they're broken up, and you've got smaller plots within those. So to start off with, rather than having to spend out a lot of money to buy a big slab of land, and this also gives you the option, you might have a bit, for example this one here, that's got a bit of mountainous stuff in it that you don't want to use. You can buy this plot out here, maybe this one here and this one here, and then not have to worry about buying the corner. The same with this one. I like that as an option. I think that's pretty cool. So that's the difference between New Frontier and New Frontier Forestry. So what we're going to do now is do the rest of the map tour on New Frontier 69 farmlands. And I say, same amount of farmlands, just not as much forestry. It's fascinating. I have to say, it's trying to think of, we've had maps sometimes where there's been 2 different versions. I'm trying to think of one where there've been 3 different versions off the start. So, should we hop on over to the one I'm going to do the map tour on? We'll get there, don't worry. So here we are for the map tour itself. We are on New Frontier 69 farmlands. Now, something I'm also going to say at this point is I have not changed the settings at all on my PlayStation, and I think this proves the point. There's something really off on Hutan Pantai, on Giant's own map, because I have to say I think the clarity and the detail and the colour and the light on here are way better than anything I'm experiencing on Hutan Pantai, and I haven't adjusted my settings at all. When I'm doing mod reviews and stuff on there, I'm getting areas where it's dark and the shade's really bad and it just looks, and I've got other areas where it looks washed out, and I've been fiddling around my settings backwards and forwards. This looks perfect to me, I have to say. But as you can see, not as many trees on this version. We do have just here our vehicle shop. I'm going to go back to how I normally do it like this. So here's our vehicle shop. As you can see, because I'm a new farmer, slot count is 630. So there's your vehicle shop. Workshop trigger is just over here. This is also the reset point on the map. So there's our workshop trigger, just there. Fuel point for refueling. Gas station is just there. And here's our start equipment and machinery. Like I said, on farm management start from scratch, you don't have that equipment, and the slot count comes down to 595. The map looks like this. So again, 69 plots that can be purchased, but not the forestry. We do start with on New Farmer these plots here. So we've got plot 1 and 2, or fields 1 and 2. Plot 30, when you buy plot 30, you get the sleep trigger come up. The sleep trigger is always there, you just need to buy the land to get it. So we're going to head off up there and around there. What I'm also going to do is take the liberty of putting in the Aprilia motorbike, so we can just whiz across and have a look at some of the, because it's a really pretty map. What I like about it is it's a frontier map. That's the point of it. It gives you the scope to go with it and do whatever you want to do with it, which is great. It's no man's land, more undulating, I think, is the best way of putting it. As far as crops go, all the base game crops. As far as mods go and build mode goes, all standard in-game stuff. Contracts are available, including deadwood contracts, wood transport, those kind of things. So I know we found when we had Silver Run, those things weren't available. So when we had log contracts for delivery, and we had deadwood contracts, and we had rocks splitting contracts and stuff like that, they wouldn't carry over onto modded maps. They are now. So we've got those types of contracts are available too, which is very nice. The other thing I've had to add on now to my list of things to look out for and check and test when I'm doing my map tour prep is AI, because we were told from the outset would the AI system and the GPS system work on modded maps? And we were told absolutely no problem at all. So that's something I need to check. It does work on this one. So will it work on all of them? It should do, but that's something I'm going to be checking and testing when I do my map tours moving forward. The only other thing I will say, like I said, under build mode, there's been nothing added in other than I noticed under painting we've got quite a few more paint textures. You see we've got animal mud, animal mud, animal mud, animal mud. Now it's not showing as mod, it's not showing modded, but these are over and above what's in the base game stuff. There's a lot more textures here, or paint textures should I say, than the base game. That was the only thing I could tell that had been added in. As far as I could make out, everything else was standard. So what we're going to do is, actually, you know what, let's go over here, we'll grab the Aprilia. I can use that for the map tour, but what I will do is, let's grab that, leave it on Black Spider, no plate, nice, lease, job done. We'll do the tour on it because it's a bit easier, but what I am going to do is, just to show you, we need a vehicle to do it, so I suppose I could have done it with a plough. I just think the lighting I'm finding is way better. I am still getting, no, it says I'm turning, and I'm on PS5 Pro. That, I know a lot of people are furious. I think we've got more updates on the way. We've had 1.3. I'm assuming, unless it's 1.31, it could be 1.4, I don't know. But we've got more updates on the way. When we get them, I don't know. I did a speed up time a little bit. There was a lot of mist, a lot of low-lying mist, and you can still see some in the lower regions. But I'll follow the track from here. Up over there is our sleep and wardrobe trigger, which we'll get to in just a second. But I just wanted to show you that when we get to the field, the AI GPS system is in operation. So if I press and hold down circle, there you go. There's our field. That's our AI worker system. That's our steering assist, our GPS system. All the stuff can be adjusted and set. So the AI and GPS system is working on this map. Very nice indeed. This is one of our start farms. Actually, yeah, we'll go back and grab the motorbike. Seeing as we're right here, we might as well. And then we'll whiz off. There's not a huge amount. It's an interesting one. I've had a couple of conversations with a couple of different people regarding this. And as far as I recall, if my memory serves me correctly, Calmsden Farm was the first mod map on FS22. And I've had people with varying different opinions on this being the first mod map out. I think some people are a bit underwhelmed. I've had messages people saying I thought that it'd be more. It'd be not a better map, that's the wrong way of putting it. Not everyone's a big fan of Pioneer maps. And like I've said this many times before, if you love that ability to be able to create something from nothing and just go for it, I mean, you can start playing on here with what's on here, of course you can. And this is not a derogatory comment, but some people just, they don't have that imagination. It's not in them to just be able to go and do whatever they want. And sometimes I find that a bit overwhelming myself. When people say, oh, I can't wait to see what you're going to do on such and such a map. And I freeze up. You kind of get writer's block. I don't know what to do and what direction to go in. Some people prefer a ready-made map. I like a pioneering map. I've done plenty of pioneering series before. And this is a really nicely made map. Nice sweeps and curves and the sort of mountainous areas. And you'll see when we get down to where the waterfall is and the pond there and stuff. It's a really, really nicely made map. And I think with all the features and stuff we've now got on FS25, I mean, it's fantastic, isn't it? But yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? I mean, it's the same with any map, really. You know, you can bring out an English map or a British map with tight lanes and hedgerows and fences, and people don't like it because it's too tight, too narrow. You bring out an American map with big open spaces, huge fields. Some people don't like it because they don't want to spend hours and hours doing one field and a harvest. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Where do you go with it? So here's our sleep trigger and our wardrobe trigger just here. Work exactly the same as the base game stuff does, because it is base game stuff. For your increments of sleep all the way through. I love that as a new feature on FS25. I think it's brilliant. You can go over to that and you can just have a nap. You can skip ahead in the day much quicker. I think that's absolutely brilliant. So let's head over here.
Ground deformation is all still on here. I know that was the other thing people were saying. The problem is when you get modded maps, they won't be able to, it won't have ground deformation. It won't have, everything's here. Everything that's base game, that won't leave much ground deformation because it's quite light. But when I was doing my prep, I came across here in the tractor, and it was, yeah, absolutely fine. That gravel sound will never get old, I don't think. Farmer's Market is just here with the two different sell points either side. You've got your grain type sell point this side with your grate just there, and the other side is more for your palleted type items this side. Over the back here, the warehouse. Now this was part of the update. This said that the warehouse was added. You know what I've forgotten to do? Did I do it or not? Let me just check on my... I don't know if I did or not. But we have got warehouse sell point just here, and then here we've got the warehouse has been added in. So if you want to do constructables or something like that, or any of the productions, and you want to buy things, you can. I bet I didn't do it. So there you go. I thought I'd put it on. Oh, I did. I wanted to double check. What I installed was the liftable pallets and bales pack by Yoss. Just to make sure, or just to see, because obviously the base game warehouses on the base game maps, it works with it. And I didn't know whether or not in Yoss making that mod, so that's not normal, that's not standard. You won't be able to lift these up unless you've got the liftable pallets and bales pack by Yoss installed. But I wanted to see if the warehouse on a modded map would be compatible with Yoss's mod, and it is. So if you want to use those in combination with each other, you can make these things liftable if you wish. That's nice, I did do it. Brilliant. So that's the warehouse. We come around from here. We've got the animal dealer. So animal dealer point is just here for the purchasing of all the animal types that are in game. We don't start with any animal pens. We don't start with a silo. There's no biogas plant, and that's, like I say, that's the point. It's pioneering. Make it what you want. It's not cluttered with loads of stuff that you might not necessarily want. But like I said earlier, for some people that is what they want. They don't want to have to spend time making it themselves. All depends what you're into. Right, so what we're going to do now is move around here to the sawmill. Now the beauty of the new system on FS25, which I adore, I find so much better, is that any map that's got a production chain already on it, you can come into this option here under your factories, and you can see what's available and what you own. So when map makers put a production in on the start, I can come straight into here and I can look and say, okay, we own all of those, but you can also see what's available on the map. And the great thing with that is you can also see the recipes and the cycles per month without having to buy them. It's brilliant. So the sawmill wood miser LT15 is here on the map base game. It's 150,000 to buy, and you can do wood planks, long wood planks and wood beams. That won't do prefab walls. If you want to do prefab walls, you've got to go for the full-blown sawmill. And again, as more and more mods and stuff start to come out, that will become more relevant. So that's your sawmill just here. Plenty of open space, and the good thing is all the plots on the map can be purchased. So now I did have a message. Who was it messaging me last night to say they'd been on it and they were having real problems? I was going to say the land in places looks fairly flat and fairly level for placing stuff. Always save your game before fiddling around with anything on the landscaping tool, and try something out. Try and place it. If it doesn't place how you thought it was going to, you might need to level the ground first or whatever. The message I received was saying that it was almost impossible to place stuff, but I'm looking across here thinking I'm surprised by that, because it looks a lot flatter than I thought it was going to. That being said, when I was doing my mod review yesterday, and it was the ponds mod, I was really struggling with the landscaping tool for lowering the ground and raising the ground. It seemed really sluggish, and it didn't look like it was doing anything. So I would keep my finger on the button, even with it turned up. So the strength of the brush was higher. And then, obviously, by the time you realised it was then going to start working, the hole was either way too big or the mound was way too high. But as you can see, nice sweeping terrain. This bike, I'm not a big fan of this. I can't wait till we start getting some Sloitches modding motorbikes, some stuff out. Bear in mind this is a base game one. And I know, like I say, I'm and I'm a big advocate of giants, always have been, but they don't always get everything right. And this bike handles like an absolute I won't use the word a Richard III, let's just say that. So we'll head out past all here. Now on the forestry map, a lot of this has got trees on it because it's a forestry map. But as you can see, much more open. It's difficult when you look across because of the way it puts things in as you're driving. It looks like trees are floating to start off with, and as you get closer it kind of renders them in a little bit better. I mean, I'm not saying there aren't any floating trees anywhere, but I haven't encountered any. Where am I heading to? I've completely lost myself on the map. I might be going over there. Just wanted to show you just the expanse, the open terrain. I mean, look at that. That's crystal clear. It's not washed out. It's not overly dark. I don't know. I'm going the right way, am I? I need to check on the map. Where am I? I norsed it right. I'm way off. How have I gone completely the wrong way? We'll get there. There we go. Yeah, this thing, when you go to a certain angle, it seems to go a bit funny. If you hit a bump, oh blimey, it just, yeah. There's not really any decent suspension travel on it. That kind of stuff, you know, the sort of things. I love a bit of suspension travel. I'm waiting for the Santanas. There's a little bit, but it's just, I don't know. It doesn't like it. So as we come up through here, it's all very picturesque. It's all very lovely. Where are we? There's a pond over here. With a bit more forestry. Now again, you don't have to have your sleep and wardrobe trigger where it is. You might want to move and put one somewhere else. You might want to start up here on the mountainside or hillside or wherever you want. You come down here. I think this is, I might use this actually as my thumbnail. I'm sure one of the images is of this with, I'm assuming it's Ola Haldor on their motorbike. But yeah, it's a picturesque, lovely spot. It's a nice map. It's nicely made. Like I say, whether it's your cup of tea or not. We have got the ripples in the swimming. Look, if we swim as well. Oh, maybe this one isn't going to be a swim. No, the pond was. Oh, now I'm going to be soaked. Soaking wet on my jeans. Anyway. To change my trousers. And that, in essence, that's it. That's the 3 maps. All the various different elements combined in them. Pick whichever one you want. Or stick with the base game maps. It's entirely up to you, as it always is. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.